Welcome to the Tony the Prophet channel for Super Wildcard Weekend. We made it. We made it to the playoffs. I'm going to talk briefly about Week 18, then get into the games. I don't know if I'm going to touch Week 18 next year. Just a horrible, horrible experience. Teams don't want to play, don't want to play their players. Half the teams don't want to win. They're looking for a better draft position. But quickly, I'll give you a recap. I had Cincinnati minus 7.5. Joe Burrow usually plays very well in December and January. Well, the whole team was already mentally in Cancun. They didn't show up against a hapless Browns team, so we lost that one. I had Seattle minus 2.5. Check. Dominated San Francisco. San Francisco then scored a touchdown. Had Atlanta minus 3.5 at home, leading the whole game. Just couldn't punch in a one touchdown in the red zone. They underutilized Bijan. They wanted to get Algier in, but they had played Bijan in all these other meaningless games because they weren't going anywhere. And with 1:16 left, you lose the cover in the game to a first touchdown to a meaningless guy, Bell. And, the Atlanta kicked 4 field goals. So, again, just a crazy game. We had it in the bag, but then we lost. And then they had Chicago minus 3 at home. Golf outdoor, usually better in a dome, not good in bad weather conditions. And Dan Campbell wanted to show up Ben Johnson. So I'm going to talk about every game. I have a top 3. Some games are too close for comfort, and I won't even touch them. But anyways, here we go. Rams minus 10.5. I got this early in the week at 9.5. I feel more comfortable at 9.5. Teams played in week 13. The Rams actually lost. Stafford, who had 2 picks to that point, threw 2 picks, and they had 3 turnovers in that game, and they still only lost by a field goal. You have Adams is back. Adams caught 2 touchdowns in that game. Makes this offense much, much better. They can run more 11 personnel. You see them with a lot of 12 and 13 personnel with more tight ends, with just Puka on the field. And now this opens it up. Who are they going to cover? Adams or Puka? Adams is deadly in the red zone. Getting a touchdown a game. And, Bryce Young versus playoff teams is not good. He's 2-4. This is this year. He's 2-4. Completion percentage of 59.5, TD to interception 6 each, and passer rating of 70.5. Now, the other thing that you look at, Carolina's just lucky to be in the playoffs. They backdoored it in. They lost their game to Tampa Bay. When the refs helped a little, they came back to make it close. And then they needed Atlanta to hold on and get that 2-point victory to backdoor in the playoffs. Their point differential is negative 69 points. So again, they were 8-9. They're lucky to be in the playoffs. The Rams' point differential, conversely, is 173 points. Okay, so the Rams have the better coach, the better quarterback, the better running backs, the better wide receivers. They have a great defensive front. The only thing you have to worry about with the Rams is their cornerbacks are suspect. So Carolina, if they can stay in the game, can do some damage. However, you saw against Seattle when Carolina played them that if they couldn't run the ball, they were done. And I think going to have a similar situation. Now, Carolina is a great cover team, especially at home. I think they're like 10-4 this last 14 games. But you have the better team in the Rams, better coach. They have time to prepare for them. So I just think that even though it's 10.5 and you could get a backdoor cover, I got it at 9.5. I'm way more comfortable at that. You could sorry, I'm getting texts here from the people here. Sorry about that. I wish they'd stop. Everybody wants to talk to the prophet before the playoffs and get advice. But anyways, I have this Rams kind of in a blowout, 34-17. Could be 34 to 23. But I have the Rams. I Not one of my top games, but I like the Rams. Now the next game, Chicago. The lines are all over the place. Um, I've seen Green Bay from 1 to 2 points. The most I've seen is 1.5. Difficult game to predict. The I looked at the weather. The temperature for this game is going to be real feel is about 10 degrees through the whole game. You're going to have 16-mile-an-hour winds with gusts to 30 miles an hour. So I think that gives the advantage to Chicago a little bit with Monange and Swift. They can run the ball. Green Bay has Jacobs. He's been hurt, but he can run a little too. But Green Bay has just not been playing well. Now, technically on paper, they're probably the better team, but they're just not playing well. 1-4 against the spread their last 5. 2-9 against the spread last 11 on the road. Wait a minute, we lost the picture here. Here we go. Sorry about that. These texts, I get them through on my computer too because it's a Mac. 2-9 against the spread, last 11 on the road. 5-7, Jesus, against the spread, last 10 versus the NFC. Chicago, on the other hand, 10-5 against the spread, last 15. 11-4 straight up. Chicago 11-6 straight up for the year, and 10-7 against the spread. They got a Dunze back. So that gives them a Dunze. They have Loveland, they have Moore, and they have Burden. So they have some weapons. On the other hand, Green Bay, like I say, is a rested team. They didn't play anybody in Week 18. Questionable. They have a coach with a better record. Love is probably a better quarterback than Williams at this point. So this game is very close. I would lean, I don't know how I'm going to lean. I think Green Bay can win it. Chicago in the other two meetings, they lost one and then they pulled the other one out close. So they were trailing in most of the game. So that gives the upper hand to Green Bay. But I got this very close. I think you can maybe cover. I'm not even touching this. This is off the board. It's like Green Bay 24-23, Chicago 23-21. I think Green Bay can win and Chicago can cover with the hook of the 2 points that you get. So it's a very close game. Not one of the top picks. Now, next game is Jacksonville. Now, this spread flipped. When I was doing my research, it was Jacksonville plus 1.5. Now I wake up this morning and it's Jacksonville minus 1.5. The key to the game, the whole key to the game comes down to, can Buffalo run versus the Jacksonville number 1 run D? They only give up 85 yards a game. Now, conversely, Buffalo has one of the worst run defenses. They're 28. They were worse. They improved it a little. But Jacksonville, very hard team right now. 8-0 against the spread. 8-0 straight up their last 8 games. 13-4 in the season. 12-5 against the spread. 7-2 against the spread at home. Jacksonville plays very well at home. And then on the other hand, Buffalo, 12-5, 8-9 against the spread. 4-4 against the spread this year. God, I'm sorry, guys. When I'm recording this, it's screwing me up. The Buffalo 0-8 in their last 8 playoff games on the road. If Jacksonville can get the run game going against that Buffalo run defense, and if Jacksonville can stop the run, then you got Allen who has to throw to those, excuse me, has to throw to those subpar receivers that they have. You have Shakir, and the rest of them are receivers. They brought back Cooks back from the dead, okay? And maybe Knox gets into the action. But, I think Lawrence, if he's playing very well. If they can get the run game going with ETN and Tootin, sets up the play action. They have all their weapons back uh, this week, um, and I think they can do some damage. So it's going to come down to the way that Buffalo always wins. If they stop Cook, then Josh Allen has to put on the Superman cape and beat him himself. So I still have this a close game, but I think all the data, and if you look at on the 8-0 run that Jacksonville had, they were 8-0, which is tied for the last 8 games, tied for first. Point per game differential was 19.1 points in those 8 games, and points per game they scored was 33.6, and points per game allowed was 14.5, and that's all those 3 last categories are first. You have Cam Little, who can bomb field goals from 65 to 70 yards. Buffalo's kicking game's been a little suspect, and so I have this Jacksonville 27 to 24. I think Allen may become on a comeback. It's a game or weekend. I'll make it a top pick, but I have Jacksonville winning. Got to speed this up. I'm already at 11 minutes here. Sorry, folks. Next game I like is Philly -6. I got it like around Philly -4, 4.5 earlier in the week. Game comes down to the health of the San Francisco 49ers. If Trent Williams is out, the game is over. The record with San Francisco with him out is horrendous. And on the other side, the other offensive tackle, Lane Johnson is in. The record with Lane Johnson playing in and out is like 80 to 80-20. So the San Francisco secondary is all beat up. And I think what Philly is going to do is to try to get the run game going. I think it's a good matchup for Barkley. You're going to see Hurts run more down to the playoffs during the season. They've kind of, to the dismay of fantasy fans, cut back his running, so they don't want to get him hurt. And the other thing I've learned over the years, when you see the sharp money coming on the side, believe it. Most of those cases where the line moves favorably to the team that everybody's putting the money on, it usually comes out. I've tried to fade that and say, oh, I'm getting more points. Sometimes when I bet deals when the line moved to 2 points or more, and you usually lose. Even you go, oh, I'm getting more points, I'm going to cover this. You're not. So if it gets so crazy, if it gets to 7, then maybe you got to look at Frisco. But Jennings has a tough matchup. He's the number 1 receiver. Looks like Pearsall's out. They can't stretch the field. You saw what happened last week against Seattle. It'll be up to CMC. Purdy tends to throw picks. He threw them last week, and he's thrown them during the year and had multiple pick games. It's juiced like crazy. I was looking to bet it. It's like -167 or something that he's going to throw a pick. So you know what's going to happen if the books have that, and you need to parlay it with something. So anyways, I have this Philly 24 to 17, 27 to 20. If they get the lead and run the game away in the second half, I think it could be more. So I have this as a top play. They're home, and so I got the 2 games here. I'm up to 14 minutes on this tape. I don't want to keep it longer. New England -3.5. I'm leading New England 14-3, 12-5 against the spread. The only thing that worries me, frankly, about this game is that New England played a soft schedule, but you have to balance that against the fact that the Chargers are missing their 2 tackles. You do have, you do have a problem with experience. Herbert is a much more experienced quarterback than May, and you've seen that quarterbacks for Williams, Caleb Williams, and for Drake May, the success in the playoffs in the first playoff games, like 17-35, something like that. So it makes it difficult. But Pats are home. Chargers are not good on the road. 3-5 against the spread away. They're only 9-8 against the spread, so they're a 500 team virtually, even though they were 11-6. The Pats number 4 against the pass and number 6 against the run. And Hampton's questionable. I think he'll play, but real quickly, I'll take the Pats 24-19. I'm not making this a top play because Harbaugh's an experienced coach, and they have the hook. You don't, and it could be a last minute. They have Dicker. They keep it close, and you lose by the hook. But I'll take New England. Fingers crossed, and we'll leave it at that. But I could see you losing. It's not a top pick. This next game is a top pick. Houston -3. They've been on a run. They've won their last 9 games. Houston 5-2 against the spread their last 7. And Houston is the number 2 D. They were number 1. They only give up 17 points a game. And you're playing a Pittsburgh team that, let's be honest, that they missed the field goal. Baltimore missed the field goal. And if Baltimore made that field goal and won the game, maybe it's Tomlin who's getting fired, not Harbaugh, and Baltimore's in the playoffs. But the Houston is actually played very well on the road. I had some stats, but I don't have them right here in front of me. And the only thing that's a plus you have for Pittsburgh is that Tomlin's won like 23 Monday night games in a row. They are home, but I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be able to pass the ball. You have Lassiter and Stingley, one of the best, if not the best, cornerback duo in the league. And you're going to see Rodgers try to get the run game going, which the Houston D could be able to stop very easily. And that leaves them throwing to Gainwell and, what's his name? Oh, man. The other tight end, number 30. I could see him. You know who I mean. And then to the tight ends. So, anyways, sorry about that. An aged moment. But I have Houston winning. It's a top play, 23-17. And I like Houston. So that'll wrap it up. I kept it just to 18 minutes, so it's not too long, and it can upload nicely. And I will be back for next weekend and throughout the playoffs. And thanks.